Hey everybody, in this video we're going to look at the last few offensive possessions for the Clippers in Sunday's loss. One of the problems that the Clippers ran into down the stretch is they had tried to attack Milwaukee's two best defenders, and it starts on this play where Leonard tries to screen Middleton, but Milwaukee switches with Antetokounmpo going onto Paul George, and when Giannis gets onto Paul George, it's the reigning Defensive Player of the Year. This is a one-on-one matchup. I'm not sure how much this matchup favors the Clippers. This doesn't turn out to be a terrible shot for Paul George as he steps back into a three, but it's one that they didn't work really hard to get and try to exploit Milwaukee. This was probably the Clippers' best possession in terms of the shot that they generated. Screen on Giannis by PG. Leonard's going to come down off of this working against Middleton. Now, Middleton is a good defender, but this might actually be the mismatch the Clippers were trying to look for. When the help defender digs down, Leonard will kick it out to Morris, who then skips it perfectly across to Batum. Then a swing to PG. George has a great look from three. This is a look the Clippers do like to get. He does miss it. However, Leonard gets the offensive rebound, and as the Clippers kind of reset here, he notices he has Patrick Beverley open and kicks it to Beverley. This is the biggest mistake. This is the shot Beverley needs to take. He doesn't. It was the best shot the Clippers would have gotten. Instead, he tries to hit Marcus Morris on a post-up. It's a poor entry pass. It gets stolen, and the Clippers fizzle out on this possession. Now, this is just an awful possession. Ball gets inbounded with 15 on the shot clock. So right here, you're already working at a disadvantage here on a short shot clock. Leonard's going to come up and set a screen against Middleton and then slip it, which forces the switch. So once again, we have Leonard working against Middleton. Leonard doesn't get the ball till about 8 on the shot clock and doesn't start making his move until the clock ticks just under 5. Because of this, it means the defense can just dig down while knowing they don't need to help on shooters. Giannis digs down, gets the block, and Milwaukee gets the stop. This is a very stagnant possession for the Clippers here in the fourth. Here's a possession where the Clippers actually get a solid look because they do try to exploit a weakness. Lou Williams comes up to set the screen but slips. Now this is going to end up forcing Donte DiVincenzo onto Paul George the second time they run this action. So here comes another Lou Williams ball screen. DiVincenzo's going to come out to hedge on this. When Williams slips this time, Middleton's going to go with him. This leaves DiVincenzo on George, which is a mismatch in favor of the Clippers that they should have hunted out sooner. George gets by him. Drew Holiday does a good job of stepping up on George's drive. They meet. This is a great no call. Paul George gets a good look at the rim and he hits it off the back iron, but this is a solid foundation for the Clippers on this shot. This is probably a rush possession. Side out of bounds. Kawhi Leonard hard step into the step back. He gets Giannis going downhill. Leonard then steps back into the three. This isn't a terrible look, but probably not the one the Clippers wanted at this juncture of the game with a minute to go. All right, so the Clippers are down 1, 45 seconds to go. They do rush the ball up the court, which is good because post-game, Kawhi and PG both said they needed to play with more pace, the team as a whole, down the stretch of this. Morris comes up to set a screen, but he needed to make contact, and because he doesn't make good contact, it allows DiVincenzo to not be the main defender on George. George hops into his three-pointer. Middleton gives a good contest. It's not a great shot. The Clippers needed to run that screen action again. All right, final possession, down by 3, 10 seconds to go. Screen by Ibaka for George. George is going to get the ball in the inbounds. The Clippers do get a switch that they like here, though. Ibaka screens against Giannis, which forces Connaughton onto Leonard. When Leonard catches, what he needs to do is actually be more aggressive and try to take Connaughton off the dribble. Instead, he settles for this very long three. I don't know if he thought Connaughton was going to foul him. The Clippers don't make it, and they end up losing the game here.